Welcome to the Creator Show. Now let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Hey. It is the Creator Show. It seems like I've been gone for everybody. I think it's been only about a week, But let's get into it. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Like I said, it seems like I've been gone forever. But anyway, welcome to the Creator Show. Give you honest conversation served with humor and energy. Let me shut off. Let me put myself on D&D before I forget. But how's everybody doing? It seems like it's been forever, but last week I had to take a break. I was a little under the weather, but I'm feeling better now. But anyway, so let's get into it. So like that, I don't know if how deep y'all are, like that girl say on TikTok. I don't know how deep y'all are in these TikTok streets, like I am. I gotta find her name. But so I have 2 topics that I have gotten off of TikTok. So the first one is Vogue. I don't know if y'all heard, but Vogue decides to do. I seen this video by. I always like to give people their credits. Rayshonda Leas. And I came across her video, and she's Vogue. It was Tracee Ellis Ross, and I just happened to just tap on it, and she said Vogue called this a cloud bob. Let me see if y'all can. A cloud bob. In our neck of the woods, this is an afro. Where in the world? What in the colonization? Like that is like truly. Y'all, trying to take everything and rearrange everything that was here already and want to change it. That is not a cloud bob. That is a freaking afro. How dare Vogue? But that's not the only time Vogue has did something like that. And I kind of felt kind of disrespected. A cloud bob. Vogue called an afro a cloud bob. That is an afro. Y'all gotta be kidding me. Like, it's everything. Like, to go back when they used Afro pick as in thing to slice onions and tomatoes. Like, that's an Afro pick. This word is crazy. They take everything that we have created and turn it into something different. I don't know if people be doing that on purpose just to rage bait, or do they actually, not know what's going on. But I don't think people be oblivious to what be going on. I think people just be wanting clickbait. And I'm just like, why? And I try not to get frustrated, but like I said, are people that stupid to, say something like that? But anyway, so next one, this cracked me up. So the next post, this was funny. This came from Internet Auntie. So I came across a video, Internet Auntie, and she stitched a video of a Gen Zer telling millennials that she's going to set up an etiquette boot camp for millennials. I about fell out. I'm going to tell you this. No matter if you're a younger millennial or older millennial, like, we created the internet from MySpace not the internet. Well, we did we were the internet, but social media. And she was like, teaching us social media etiquette. And I'm like, Chabu, like, you have to sit your little young self down somewhere. We are the internet. especially in the MySpace, especially in the MySpace days. Like, I'm like really telling my age, but I'm not that old, but still. Like, how dare a Gen Zer talking? We survived plugging in, survived. They don't know nothing about surviving the internet. You couldn't get on the phone while you're on the internet or whatever. And I'm like, oh, they they always be coming for. And then another thing, so I think they look like they were some Gen Zers, and they were doing the wobble, but they created a whole different dance. And I'm like, that is not the wobble. And the guy that still said, this is not the wobble. I was like, it's a lot. It has its own dance. Like, the song is the dance. So why are you recreating? Why are you creating something that already has its own dance? And I was like, yeah, these kids are very much different. I'm really like an auntie, literally and figuratively. Yeah, that cracked me up. Like, how you gonna give us etiquette? Y'all the ones gotta record everything. It's some of us that record some millennials that record everything, but for the most part, Gen Zers always gotta record. Like, literally gotta record, always got. I know I always have my phone in my hand, but I make sure I pay attention. Cause even working in the school and doing enrichment, them kids always got their phone in their hand. And I'm just like, are you not supposed to not have your phone? Like, they can't deal without their phone. And I've learned to, not deal without the phone and social media. Because I be having to tell you, social media can be a lot. It can be a gift and a curse. But let's get into the meat and the potatoes of the show. So, the topic today is take that leap. And yeah, take the leap. For me, taking that leap, it can be scary. Like, taking that leap, especially when it's something new. It can be very scary because it's not nothing familiar, and you wanting to crawl back into your hole. And for me, I'll give you a story. So, as you know, I'm in media, and I've been working heavy deep in media. Shout out to Kimberly Powell and everybody else who has supported me. But she was the trajectory of doing voiceover work. I've never did voiceover work, but I've always wanted to do voiceover work. And she was like, do you don't, I don't even think she asked me to do it. I think I just did it. And I was like, okay, I can do it. So then I end up doing some more work with her. And then that opened that door from her showing a video to somebody and me end up doing that work for somebody. So that was my leap into voiceover work. And hopefully in the near future, I'll get I plan on doing more practicing, doing more voiceover work, because that is like, it's cool. I love voiceover work because it's easy, because nobody can see your face, but they can hear your voice. But I've learned that the very thing that I was running from, my voice, was the very thing that's putting coinage in my pocket. And I'm like happy for myself because, like I said, I used to hate my voice, but I love my voice. I really do. I'm starting to I'm starting to grow into it because I don't like it, but I have to use it, so therefore I have to take care of it. And I feel as this will definitely this is definitely a gift. Because I've said it before, the things that you run from are the very things that is a part of your purpose. And also, another thing that I've took a leap with is I'm back into working on t-shirts, but I jumped back into it and I took the leap and I was like, thought to myself, like, hey, what can I do different? Then sets me different than everybody else. So I leaped back into getting into t-shirts. And like I said, to go back, I had to, like I said, I had to think to myself, like, what can I do to set myself different? So I've been playing around with leather, and I did. I'll probably post it tomorrow. But I did some toddler jerseys with leather, and I was like, it was nerve-wracking. But I've always wanted to, take that dive into doing something, take that dive into my creativity and just try something new. And I tried it and I liked it, but I have not sewn in so long. And I was like, I just can't glue these pieces together or whatever. And I was like, oh, I got it. So I'm waiting for my sewing machine to arrive, which I'm excited because I do know how to sew. It's just been a while. And like I said, I've just been taking the leap back into old things and new things. And I would tell anybody, like, take that leap. Like I said, whether it's old or new, take that leap. And you just never know never what will come out of it. And I'm thankful that I have, like, taken the leap into not only my creativity, but business, also in a business sense, because yes, you have the creative aspect of a business, especially when you were creative. But then also you got to think of the business aspect. So I've just being in the circles that I have been in, I've learned to create a system for my business. It may not be perfect, but I'm learning to create a system for my business to make it work for me. Because, you can watch and you can take, you know, bits and pieces from other people, but their system may not work for you, just as your system may not work for nobody else. So it has been very trying to get everything together because I have, with me taking a leap and wanting to, like, restructure how I'm doing everything for my business, even the podcast. Because now as you can tell, now we are on Sundays, same time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So a lot of things have been shifting, and it was like I said, to go back, it was definitely nerve-wracking to just take a leap because I was like, what people gonna think? And, whatever. But the people who support you gonna support you regardless. And another thing, when you leap, do not worry about what other folks gonna say, because folks gonna talk. Folks gonna talk whether you do good. Folks gonna talk whether you do good or bad. So you might as well jump off the porch and do it. Take the leap. 'Cause I think that's what really kinda took me a while was, you know, looking for acceptance. Would it be acceptance? Um, hey, hey, moo. Would it be acceptance? What is it? Not what is that word? Approval. Well, that's a synonym, same thing. But I think that's why it took me so long because like you wanted to make sure everything right. But I've learned that everything is not always going to be right and perfect. So, like I said, I told myself, matter of fact, last week, that's how I came up with the topic. Just leap. And, everything, will build on its way, everything will build on its way down. So I'm like excited to see, to show everything that I've been working on. Cause like I said, I've been on and off social media. So, social media kind of like Walmart, you got to have a list of what you're going to go in to do. Because if you don't, you're going to be in. So I have to limit myself on social media because I will be on social media all night. Unless I'm like doing like research or something. But even then, I'll with my brain. Thank you. With my brain, I'll be like, ooh, I have a attention. I have an attention span like a squirrel. So if I see something, I'll be like, ooh, I see something. So I've been working on that because I'm like, but anyway, I'm getting distracted once again. So, like I said, I've been spending less and less time on social media because I've learned as a business owner, yeah, we gotta shut it down and focus on the assignment. Um, it's a lot going on, especially with a lot when you are in business, especially when you are creative. You have to some to limit time on social media because like with me, I make sure me designing, I have to make sure that I'm definitely paying attention, especially when it's something like intricate and very detailed. I have to make sure I'm paying attention. So I have to limit social. Even sometimes I can't even have music. I got to have pure silent. Any other time since I've taken the leap, I'm starting. Also, since I have taken the leap, I have taking things a lot more serious. Definitely, we will mess up. Hold on, I ain't got I got these trying to be cute. Got these lashes on and can't even see. We will definitely mess up, especially when, for example, I use HTV vinyl and I also use DTF, but I'm back into using HTV vinyl and I realized once again the music was on and I messed up I messed up a shirt, but thank goodness I can fix it. It can be fixed. Some mistakes can be fixed and some mistakes can't be fixed. But I have fixed. I can go back and fix it, which is normal. But as you know, as a business owner, mistakes do happen. So I know to limit the music and have it peace and quiet. And like I said, like anybody who is watching this now or in the future, take that leap. I'm gonna tell you from experience, take that leap and don't wait don't wait for perfect timing. Cause timing is not perfect. You'll be sitting waiting. And what you're waiting for is waiting on you. I had to learn that. And we sitting here always like, send me a sign. Whoever you pray to or whatnot. That how you know that ain't waiting on you? Yeah, correct. You'll be waiting forever. And I know for me, Yes, definitely, definitely. I know for me, I would be sitting there. I think, and that's like I said, to go back, this would prompt this topic. Just take the leap. And I was just like, because I was sitting there waiting and waiting. I'm like, why are you waiting? It's on. Like, you are wait. Like, come on, you. And then, because I had to keep myself in check. Like, what are you waiting for? And I think part of it is like due to fear. And I'm slowly coming out of that. And like I said, sometimes I feel like a hypocrite because I'm always saying, when you walk in your purpose, you will always be provided for. Because sometimes I be like, when is this going to happen? That human side of me be like, when is this going to happen? What is going on? Why is this happening to me? But, when you do things, when things are done correctly, I had to learn when things are being done correctly and not rushed, it's going to be grander than what you planned. Because a lot of things that I have done, I went small. Thank you for coming. Safe travels. Safe travels back. But I went small. And I definitely have been with the leap. With this leap, I definitely played it small. And then I definitely have been stretched. And I was like, man, come on, you might as well, do it. You might as well take that leap because you never know what's going to happen. So I've been working like really, really hard, like on like a lot of stuff. I think I might post the jerseys tomorrow. I might do a little 1-2 tomorrow and show what I have been working on since I've taken this leap. And it's scary. Like, it's that, especially when it's like not familiar. And I think I've already said that. So I'm starting to sound like a broken record. But it's definitely scary. And like I said, some people we can't wait. We can't wait. Because of also what happened to me before. I waited. It was a good idea. And then somebody else come out with the exact same idea and making bank off the idea. Not only was it my idea, but they didn't take it from me. Let me clear it up. They didn't take it from me. It was an idea that I had, but somebody did the same thing, but they put their own little twist on it. So now when I have an idea, I pray about it. And if I'm led to act on it, then I act on it because I've learned my lesson. I have to start following the nudge and, take the leap. You got to take the leap. You got to take the leap of faith. I think it was Martin Luther King. You have to take the first steps, first few steps, even when you don't see the whole staircase. That's real faith. Because you think about when somebody is skydiving and it's cloudy. You got the parachute, you jump, you take the leap, you jump. Hey, 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 by the way, hold on, stop. I have to say congratulations to the people it's a list of people that graduated who got their doctrines over the weekend. Some of my folks, Dr. Jalitha Porter has stepped in the building. So, Jalita, prepare to be sick of me because now I'm going to be calling you doctor. So, prepare to be sick of me. So, congratulations to Dr. Jerry Porter, Miss Marva, Mika. Congratulations. See, I'm telling you, you finna be sick. Y'all finna be sick of me. Tell them folks to put some respect on your name. It's a doctor now. Tell them folks to put some respect on your name. See, I done got sidetracked already. But you have to think about, no problem. I love you too. You have to think about when you take that leap. Think about when you skydive. I've never skydived, but I've watched videos of people skydive in the cloud, especially when it's cloudy. You have to think about when you leap and it's cloudy, you don't see the ground. And then they tell you pull the parachute. That's just like when you doing something for the first time. You take that leap and you pull that parachute and you have faith that you are going to land. Like they say, you have to have the faith. What is it, the size? Hold on. I want to get it right. Your faith has to be the size of a mustard seed. That's all it takes. And I know for me, I had to take, like I said, I had to take the leap. Cause like Moose said, you gonna be waiting forever. And I've been waiting forever. And I think another thing, people wait for people to acknowledge them in what they're doing. Like I've learned if you're not putting yourself out there, then nobody's going to be seeing you. That's basically your leap. Take the leap and put yourself out there. And I know for me, talking to myself, I know I have to do more. And even though I do work, I still have to do more and put myself out there to make this grow and make this bigger than what it is. Because I know it's going to be big. I say it's going to be big, but I have to put in the work. As you leap, you have to put in, you have to put in the work. But go back to, that skydive, you have to take that dive. You can't worry about it, about, when am I going to land? As soon as you pull that parachute, you know you're going to land. And I know, like I said, I pulled that parachute and I know I'm going to land. It's like I said, of course your faith will waver because it's something new, but you got to have, you got to have, to go back to what I said, you got to have the faith, you got to have faith size of a mustard seed. Yes, it's normal to be, scared, especially when it's something new that you never tried. And, you want to be in like familiar. You got to get out of that familiar space. Get out of those familiar spaces because yes, it's familiar, but sometimes familiar is not, good. Through my experience, I've learned that familiarity is a gift and a curse. And then I know the Most High will definitely get you out of what is familiar and get you into something that is not familiar, just to test your faith. My faith has been tested a lot, to see if this is what I wanted. And this is definitely, where I'm at now. It's definitely where I want to be because I pray for it. Like I always say, why pray for stuff? And then when you get it, you fumble it. Like I said, I've been there, done that. Not everybody doesn't get a second chance to follow their dreams. And I had another point. Nobody gets a second chance to follow their dreams. And like I said, I will, like I mentioned before, like I always say, think about Lot's life. Lot, he took off. He took off, and he, don't turn around. God said, don't turn around. You're going to turn into a pillar of salt. And what happened to Lot's wife? She's turned into a pillar of salt. And I think about that all the time. Since I took that leap, I ain't turned back since. That goes to like, why is what is it? Oh, never mind. Scratch that. But I am very, like, I'm very proud of myself that I have got into uncharted territories. But I'm thankful for my village, that I can have people to, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I need help on, I need help on this. And it's without a shadow of a doubt. It's like, hey, this is what I've done. It may work for you. It may not work for you. I have people inbox me, about things. Hey, things. Maybe if you flip it this way, maybe it'll work. It'll work better for you. And I tried it and it worked, you know, and it's just things that, just getting out of, I think for me, I think it's being expand, growing and expanding has made me be like, see life through another pair of eyes. And that made another shift. 'Cause I've been constantly shifting, which means I'm constantly expanding, but I have shifted, and and most likely I'm probably gonna be, I'm probably gonna, shift again and shift again. And there's nothing wrong with shifting and starting over. Some people be like, "You starting over?" It's okay to start over to get to get to how you want it. And don't let nobody make you feel bad for starting over. And don't let nobody who has never walked in your shoes tell you how to do what you are doing. Especially people who fruit, you can tell a person by the fruit that they bear. And it's like some people, you can still listen to them and you can still learn from them. But some people, you can look at them like, your fruit, I can tell by the fruit that you bear. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to take advice from you, you know. And I've learned it because, people be like, you can take advice from everybody. No, you can't. Because I've learned my lesson taking advice from people who were in, higher positions than me, and following them, I was lost. As my granny would say, the blind leading the blind and whatnot. So I've learned to watch look at the fruit that the person that you take advice from, because I don't care what title you have. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what car you drive. I don't care what position you in. If your advice, you will get that. Your discernment. If your discernment is on 10, you'll know if that person is giving good advice. You'll definitely know, like I said, from the fruit that they bear. Even in the beginning, when y'all start talking and they, start the conversation, you know. you can really tell. But like I said, you can't take everybody advice. Like I said, I've learned my lesson in the past. But that doesn't mean that, and especially when you do take the advice, listen. Especially, I've got good advice, and I definitely, got game. I definitely got game. And with that, when you get advice, make sure you make sure you're listening, you're hearing what they're saying, and you're actually listening. Because to me, hearing and listening is the same thing. Hearing and listening is two different things. Because when you listen, you process what that person's saying. When you hearing, you just like, okay, I'm just not, you're not processing what that person is saying. And also, when you when you do take that leap and you get in these rooms, don't be intimidated. Because I know in the beginning, when I took the first leap, because you're going to be taking quite a few leaps. I was nervous. I was intimidated because a lot of these women have been where I've been. And to see, to hear their stories and being where they've been, it was like I said, because of their titles and, where they've been and where they are now. It's definitely intimidating, but I'm grateful for them to be able to be like, you don't have to be intimidated. It is definitely okay. And that, put me at ease when I walk in rooms. They always tell me, no matter what room you walk in, walk with your head held high, like you own the room. And, it be nerve-wracking sometimes because, you gotta own it. Especially with coming into, especially being in business, and being an entrepreneur, you cannot. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I watched a video on TikTok and I wish I had the creator's name. She said made a valuable point. She said, take your emotions out of business. And I sat there, I'm like, what is she talking about? And then so that definitely, sorry about that, y'all. But I what was I? Where was I at? Oh yeah, that she was saying how you have to take your emotions out of business. Which to me, you have to take emotions out of everything because you don't want to make a erratic decision. You don't want to make a decision out of emotions because I definitely made some decisions from emotion and not logical, which has really screwed me up in the long run. But I'm thankful that I'm able to start over and do do it right. But yeah, when she said take the emotions out, out of the business, which to me, nervousness is an emotion. Take that out of business because you can definitely miss out on deals when you be nervous, scared. I'm so country scared, being scared. Cause I know I've lost out on a lot of opportunities because I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Now I have no choice to talk. I have no choice to talk. People like, you got a podcast, you still don't. I'd be like, I don't care. I still don't like to talk. Not one bit. But it's helped me. And the podcast, the show has definitely helped me find my voice, be an inspiration, use my platform, to inspire the next generation of creators or just anybody really. So this concludes. I don't want to say this concludes, but I want to say I want to end with this. I don't know who needs to hear this, whether you watching it on live or whether you watching it in the future on YouTube. Take that leap so you don't miss up. Take that leap and have faith because you don't want to miss the opportunity. As I always say, spread love, peace, because there's enough negativity in the world. And I'm gone.